Welcome back, and thanks for clicking on the video. And today we have a special guest stopping by, and they're going to learn to weld on the Miller-Matic 211. Why do they want to learn to weld? Not because they're ever going to probably weld again in their life, and not because they have a special project that they want to do, but there's a real special reason why they want to go through the steps of the processes of welding and why you do the different things you do. So sit back, I hope you enjoy the video, and our special guest should be here shortly. All right, so our special guest just pulled up, and they're here. Wait a minute, get out of the way. There we go. There's our special guest.
Yeah, coffee, and we're here to learn how to weld.
Yeah, so I got Adam and Lana here from Hometown Acres, and we're not here to show Adam how to weld today.
No.
We're here to show Lana how to weld today. So Lana, I guess tell me why are you here? Because I'm assuming it's because you're not going to make your husband, help build things or out in the yard and working on things.
No. So I'm an occupational therapist, and I have a student got accepted to the VOTEC program, and he's going to be going into the welding program. And he has some limitations in his fingers and his wrists.
Okay.
And they asked me for some strategies on how to help him be successful. And I don't know how to weld, so I don't know how to help him.
So you don't really, the whole point of you being here is to learn a little bit yourself.
About the trade, so that you can help somebody else.
Right.
So explain for people who don't know what occupational therapists do.
Okay, so occupational therapists, they wear many hats, but currently I am a school-based occupational therapist.
Okay.
So I work with kids between the ages of 3 to 21 who usually they'll have some sort of intellectual or developmental disability. And my job is just to support them in their educational environment to be as independent or as successful as they can.
Oh, cool. So, I commend you on wanting to do this, because I'm guessing you probably don't spend a lot of time in the garage at home. I mean, you got that brand new big garage, and you're probably not out there kicking Adam off the tractor to mow or to sharpen the blades or anything like that. So this is going to be quite the experience for you as well.
Yes.
I'm assuming you've never picked up a welding torch in your life?
No, I know nothing.
You've probably never held a handheld grinder for cleaning metal, or never used a bandsaw or anything like that?
No.
Well, you're going to get a chance to do all of that today, so you have a good experience as to what you might need to show or change in the program to help any of these students that come through that you're working with.
I also just want to say I'm very proud that she's going that extra mile to help this kid out, because a lot of occupational therapists might just say, I don't know how to weld. It's, sorry, I can't help you. But she was the one who actually asked us and said, hey, can I see what kind of motions you're going to be in to weld, and like what kind of things am I going to need to help this kid adapt to overcome whatever disabilities he has to help him succeed.
Oh, awesome. So I understand the limitations part of it, and I really commend you on that, and wanted to say thanks and allowing us to do this video to, I guess, reach out and show people that, there's really a lot of good people out there that really do want to help. So I guess first off, let's get started with getting you suited up with the proper protective PPE equipment and going through all that.
Okay.
And have an understanding of what it's going to take your students to be properly outfitted to see if they can even manage that portion of it to get into the welding and fabrication, because it's more than just, running a welder across and holding it here and running a bead of weld across that thing. It's a lot of mindset when that sparks hit you, that you don't get scared and jump. You feel the heat, the bright light. There's a whole lot more to welding that I guess people don't take into consideration when you start doing it. So we'll go through that, and then you have to be able to cut some pieces of steel. You have to be able to grind it off to clean it up so you can weld it. So there's a whole lot you're going to learn today, and you're going to have a whole new respect for how somebody else is going to look at doing the welding. So, and Adam, you look fantastic today. Looks like you got a fresh shave, and you're all good to go.
I'm all ready to go. Yeah.
Again, I'm no professional, and I'm not here to teach these two how to run perfect dimes down a bead of steel, but I'm here to just show them what goes into doing that. So let's get going and get started on doing some welding.
All right, so we made it over here to Doug's shop. We're going to start teaching Lana how to weld, but first things first, PPE. So Doug, take it away, because I got about 10 minutes worth of welding experience. I'm nowhere near the instructor level that you are here. So.
All right, well, so Adam's got his camera rolling, I've got my camera rolling, because we're gonna do 2 different videos here. So if you guys on my channel are wondering what the heck's going on and why you hear Adam in the background, it's because we decided to try it this way. But first I wanted to show Lana the difference between an auto darkening hood and a hood that's always fully dark. So if you want, go ahead and, like I said, put that on and just look through it and tell me what you can see.
Keep in mind, Lana has no idea anything about welding, so this is all brand new.
Okay, so you can see, right? You know, you can see me waving at you?
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and put this one on now.
I can't see anything.
See me waving?
No.
No, that's what I see out of my left eye. I see nothing. So I'll probably be using this helmet when we go through and do the process of welding. Got you a brand new set of safety glasses, so throw those on, make sure they fit.
There we go.
Not bad at all. Okay, so now the other thing we want to outfit you with, so you don't ruin your clothes, and also so those sparks don't scare you, is a welding coat.
Now, Doug, you said you've had half a dozen other women friends over here teaching them how to weld, right?
Boy, that's gonna get me in a lot of trouble.
So wives.
A dozen other women friends. I don't know about that.
The wives.
No, it's not true. So any chance I get, I'll take an opportunity where I might have someone that, like Lana, appears to be a little timid,
Yeah.
but is willing to give it a try. And I'll say, hey, okay, let's go try and weld. And so, you know, whether it be my friends or my son's friends or whoever it might be, say, hey, you got a minute? And they'd be like, why? I said, well, I want to show you how to weld. Or I taught a bunch of kids how to run the sandblaster that had never seen or done anything like that before. And they thought, wow, that is just absolutely cool.
Yeah.
So one evening we were having a party, if you will, and my son's friends were all here. And there were several girls here that I know had never had that experience, had never done anything like it, just like you're going to get to today. And we went through and did some sandblasting and threw on the welder, and they just absolutely loved it. It's like, that's the neatest thing in the world. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I've always enjoyed doing that. And whether it's running a piece of equipment, I say, hey, hop in and give this a try. You know, it's just.
Oh, you got me hooked on the excavator.
So you got your welding coat on, you got your safety glasses on, so let's throw some gloves on you. And all this stuff is to protect you and also to make you feel a little more comfortable, because I may or may not try to get a spark to hit you today, to see jump or whatever. So we're going to throw your helmet on now.
All right, so we covered PPE. What's next, Doug?
Well, I guess we need to familiarize her a little bit with what she's working with over here on the welding table, and that is this wire here. That's your welding wire, and when you pull that trigger, this continuously feeds, comes through this cable as well as the gas.
That's cool.
And as soon as it touches or comes close to making that electrical charge to the steel, then that starts sparking.
Oh.
And it basically melts this down, and it melts the metal with this filler in it.
I'm just laughing because Lana's like, oh.
No, but I didn't know how I don't know how this works. I didn't know any of this. I didn't know there was wire.
An electrical charge melts that wire.
And it melts the steel as well, and melts them together.
And so before I knew anything about welding, I always thought, okay, I know welders use electricity, and I always thought, is there a risk of shock? And, you know, Doug said you couldn't electrocute yourself if you tried.
Not very easily, no.
Yeah, because it's all it is the connection between that and the steel. You're not really a part of the equation for the conductivity.
I knew that thing was going to get you. You were the first guy. When I put that up there, I walked under it 4 times and went, I don't hit that, and I knew that was going to get him. So we'll have to take that down. What we've got here is the grounding clamp.
Okay.
And I also have a magnet that's hooked to that. So I've got a clamp and a magnet that I use as a setup for doing that, and we'll go through all that. So if you take that, squeeze it, just so you have an understanding of what it takes to put that on.
Yeah.
Okay, so if that's difficult for one of your students, a magnet is so much easier. So let's go ahead and put that on the welding table there. Oops, let me give you a little room.
The flat one, just right here.
So go ahead and put that anywhere. Yep. Now take the magnet and put it on there and tell me what's more difficult.
The clamp.
Definitely the clamp.
Yeah.
So you've got some options. Like if you're talking to the instructor, you can say, hey, could we set this up with a magnet? That way it'll make it easier for whoever you're teaching at the time, or you know, as you're working through it. It's just easier to put the magnet on there, and all it does is it's conducts the electricity or grounds it out through the metal.
Is it
on
a
that
special
post.
kind of magnet?
Nope, I actually just made this off of an old speaker magnet.
Oh.
I drilled a hole in it, tapped a hole for the grounding lug, and then I put a little taper on the outside of it, but no, it's not special at all. And sets on whatever metal you're going to weld, so it makes it pretty easy. You're all set. Now there's a switch on the back of the blue machine, right back here.
Okay.
It's a little rocker switch, so turn it on.
You want me to?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so you're turned on, and now the lights out front have come on.
Okay.
So you're green and you're ready to go. Now what I can do, well, I'll have you do it. So you're going to pull that little blue trigger.
Oh, okay.
So two things. You see the wire coming out, and you also hear that gas coming out. So pull it again. Okay, you can hear that gas, and you can see the wire. So what that gas does, hold on real tight so I can pull this off. And that gas comes out of these little holes down in the end of that.
Okay.
So you've got your shielding cup, and you've got your tip down inside here, and then your wire gets fed through. So come on over here and pull the trigger and look at the spool, what it does when you pull it.
Okay. Oh, okay. You can see that it spins.
Yep, go ahead and pull it for a minute and hold it.
Okay.
All right.
Oh.
All right. So as you're welding, it does that. So now we need to take your welding pliers, and here is the cutting surface of the pliers.
Okay.
Okay. You see down in there, it's got the sharp little knife edge in there that cuts. So you're going to come back about 1/4 of an inch from that, and you're going to snip that off.
Okay.
So your trainee has to be able to run a pair of pliers and has to have a little bit of hand dexterity when they do these type of things.
Yeah.
So just get it in there and clip it off. So just clip it and break it off. Okay. Then we'll take this and just throw it away.
Okay. Yeah, that's going to be, because I was just thinking how he would try to open it.
Yep. Now they do make pliers with springs on them, but I've never seen a set of welding pliers, and that's what they call these, is their welding pliers. They do a lot of different things. So if you needed to get here to crimp on that to undo that, you've got the cutter in here for cutting your wire like that. And then if you take the cap off, so go ahead and hold that real tight. So now if I need to take the tip off, it's got this V groove right in through here. That is to unscrew that tip. And then this end here is when you get a bunch of slag and buildup in the end of the cone.
Okay.
You take the pliers, stick it in the end here, and just give it a good twist. And that's what cleans the end of that up.
Multi-purpose tool.
Exactly. So they've made one tool to do all kinds of things that help a welder. So when they're doing welding, they can get that taken care of. So we'll throw that back on. All right. And so I've made this welding gun holder. So go ahead and you'll set that in there, and you'll see kind of how it just drops in. All right. And one thing about this is nice to have. So if you've got someone that's welding and they just lay it down across the bench, I've had on many occasions where I lay it down and it lays down on the trigger, and I go ahead and set it there, and it'll sit there and run itself right out on wire. So that's why you usually have something that you can put there. We're gonna hop over here to the little old bandsaw that I have. It's a bandsaw on a little bench here, and we're gonna have Lana go ahead and we'll go through, we'll turn this on and tell you things to watch out for. but it'll give you an idea of what your students need to do when they're welding, and they got to have some hand dexterity to be able to hold and push this thing through. Here's the on-off switch down here, so I'm going to turn it on real quick. Turn it back off. The number one thing that'll get you in trouble is if you put your hand anywhere near that blade. So always keep your hand outside of the blade. You don't push this thing with all your might. You just basically push it and let the blade do the cutting, and you'll feel it. And it's a real slow process.
Okay.
So as you're pushing through, it doesn't cut like a board where you can go zip and run it right through. Steel's a little different. It goes through a lot slower.
Okay.
So we'll have you just slowly push that through. And what you'll find is when you're cutting this wall, it's a lot slower. And as soon as it cuts through that wall, it's going to just zip right across until it hits the next wall.
Okay.
When you get to this end wall on this side, push it a little bit slower so when you finally cut and break through, you don't lurch forward on you, okay? So go ahead and I'll have you do all that. So go ahead and turn it on. Keep a good, firm, tight hold on the piece that you're working with, and then just slowly...
I'm sick of being cautious. I'ma go cause something, can't stop this. I'ma steal everybody's lane, call it shoplift. Sick of hearing everyone complain when they thoughtless. Taste the pain, it's like candy canes. It makes me go change into a better frame, into a better name. Society's insane, we all live for fame. Yeah. Cash in the bag, baby I'm bad. Born rock star in this life, don't live it up on the attack. Baby I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, with no cap. Only God wants to, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, baby I'm bad. Baby I'm bad, baby I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, baby I'm bad. Better rocks on the side, I'm a little bit on the attack. Baby I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, with no cap. Only God wants to, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, baby I'm bad. Baby I'm bad, baby I'm bad. Cash in the bag, baby I'm bad. Better rocks on the side, I'm a little bit on the attack. Baby I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, with no cap. Only God wants to, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, baby I'm bad. Baby I'm bad.
There you go. Now bring your hands away and shut it off. Perfect. All right, so you've got an understanding of when you're cutting steel, of you have to have two hands on it, you have to have a good grip on it, and just go slow and let the blade do the cutting. And now I'm going to introduce you to every welder's little friend, a die grinder. But these are both cordless. One's a lot bigger and one's a lot smaller.
Okay.
And I don't know what you have at the vocational school.
I'm not sure.
But either way, I want you to do both of them so you have an understanding. Now, running a die grinder here is where you got to have a really good grip on what you're doing. You got to keep your hands out of the way, because if you ever filed your nails, it will do that really, really quick here if you let it slip and get into your finger. So,
Ouch.
so yeah, it doesn't feel good. Would you feel more comfortable with a pair of gloves on?
Maybe. Possibly.
Probably don't feel comfortable at all, do you?
Yeah.
Alright, so we've got the exhaust going. Lana's all suited up and ready to go. We're going to have her do her first test pass across there. We're just going to let you do it and see what happens.
Staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. pace on when I chase like that. Yeah, I play so strong with a knife in the back. I'ma swing home run like a baseball bat. Gonna see me rise, you can hate on that. I don't play both sides, doing me no cap. I'ma ride or die for my dreams on tap. I'ma fly real high, you ain't see me slack. No, it's not how you fall, it's how you get right back up. It's how you get tough. Countless things on my hands so rough. Yeah, I know no bluff. I'm not no one. That's who you come down with.
It's all right, but you joined those two pieces of steel now. Now guess what? Your husband sat here and listened this whole entire time. He's already had 10 minutes of welding practice. He should be a pro. So we're gonna give him some gloves and let him give it a try. We might let a couple sparks hit him. See what he thinks. So go ahead and set your gun down. And here's a way to tell that you got too far from the weld, is look at your wire. See how much you have out there now?
Yeah.
That's where you ended, and that's how far away you were.
Yeah.
So when you end, you want that wire to be at the same exact distance as when you started it. So you started it with a short wire. When you end down here, that same should be short, so you're not too far away. All right, so we couldn't let Lana have all the fun. We had to get Adam over here. He's been watching the instructions all morning, sitting back patiently waiting to finally open his present.
Yeah,
and
we'll see if my skills have improved since the last time we've done this. Every time I come over here, it's like adult shop class. We get to learn a bunch of new skills over here, so I'm looking forward to it.
So we've got two pieces similar to what Lana did, and she's got hers over there. So we're gonna, at the end, we're gonna compare weld to weld and see how they look. Again, it's not a competition, it's just to see who listens better. If you feel those sparks, don't stop, just keep going.
Yeah.
I will give you a piece of advice though. I would move this so you can guide your hand better.
Now,
You're gonna go forward on it.
You push, not pull.
I personally like to push it.
Okay.
You can do whatever you want to do. When you pull it, you can't really see where you're going because the stick on that is hiding the line. But if you push it, it gives you the opportunity to see that spot where you need to weld. So you're going to slide your hand as you come forward.
All right, eyes.
Alright, so what do you notice?
Well, I know I definitely got too far away from right there in the middle.
Yeah?
And then I pushed it back down in, so I got a big puddle there. It's a pretty terrible looking weld.
I would say that you guys both have about the same amount of time welding. That'll help you in a bind. If you broke a bolt off of something, you could make it work.
And I know I did not stop welding before I got to the end because I got too much wire left.
You got a lot of stick out there, yeah?
Yeah, so when I got to the end, and I got a little spatter on your table too.
That's all right, it grinds off. So let's take a closer look at these welds. We have Adam's over here, and we have Lana's over here. And again, we're not here to judge their welding. It was just an exercise in showing Lana what it takes to actually weld, so she can take that knowledge back to her class and show what would you call them? The trainer, the teacher? Show the teacher. So to go back and show the teacher what a challenged student might need to do. So you can actually train the teacher and show him or her what they need to do to help each student out. So let's get back to these welds real quick. And I think Lana, hers was maybe a little bit fast. So she went across pretty fast because the weld puddle is small and low. And Adam's, he started off pretty good. He's getting a little bit further away. And then I don't know whether he sneezed or had a spark hit him or what happened. And then he stalled out right here. And then he blew off the very end of it and had about an inch of weld wire stick out the end of the gun. But all in all, it really wasn't about how good of a weld puddle you guys did. It was all really more so to show you guys what it takes to do this stuff. And I'm no expert. I just, it's a hobby for me to do at home. But it was an opportunity to show somebody who has the opportunity to teach a teacher, and also maybe take a kid that would never in their life have an opportunity to do something like this. You stepped up to the plate to help this student out, so maybe you could get the vocational school a little further ahead in what they might need to do for helping an employee out.
Right.
So I guess maybe I'll wrap this up on my video, but first I want to find out from Lana, what did you think of today? And so let's start off by you walking in the door.
Right.
What was your feelings and emotions? And then what are your feelings and emotions after walking out?
Well, when I came in, I was nervous just because I didn't know anything about welding. So I definitely was able to learn what you're supposed to do, what even really welding is. To be honest, I know like the term welding. I don't really know like what it all entailed. So I learned a bunch about that. I definitely learned a lot on some things that I could probably do to help accommodate the student. And I feel a little more confident now being able to go into, their shop and kind of be able to talk to.
You can kind of speak the language and the lingo and all that. So I guess my goal, more importantly, was to give you an understanding. And after today, would you say you walked away with a little bit more of an understanding? And will it help your job in helping this student?
Oh, definitely.
So I guess that's the most important part of what we did.
No,
My goal in this video was to give her an appreciation for whenever I come over to Doug's shop and spend so much time over here.
Yeah, we're not just sitting over here shooting the breeze. We're trying to do something. But either way, I guess if you like the video, give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. And if you guys out there have ever had the opportunity to either weld or have somebody show you how to weld, or even show somebody how to weld. But again, drop a comment, give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks.